Shwmai? Iawn? Da iawn. Croeso I Merthyr Tydfil. Diolch yn fawr iawn I chi gyd am ddod. You're a massive and very, very colourful crowd. If there are any of you at the back over there concerned that you can't see and hear, there's room on the grass over here. So if you want to squeeze through and make your way to the Iron Heart, you'll find there's more space there for you. Now then, diolch yn fawr iawn I chi gyd am ddod heddiw. A diolch yn fawr iawn I Rachel Lee Stevens am ganu ni mor swynol. I'm sure you'll agree she was an excellent choice with a massive, massive alto soul voice to open today's proceedings. Diolch Rachel. Now then, not for you to think that this is the highlight of the show. No, because we're having a raffle. We're in Wales, and no event in Wales would be complete without a raffle. So, pound a strip, see me later. Now, o ddifri nawr, we've got a rugby match starting at 2 o'clock. But immediately after the rugby, you can watch the rugby though, by the way, up in Caffi Zoar, which is literally 2 minutes up that road there. Immediately after the rugby, we've got a free event in Canolfan Zoar, which is a talk about the economics of a free Wales. That'll be hosted by Dr. John Ball of Swansea University and Ian Black, who's travelled down from Edinburgh to be with us today. So I think that's enough of this nonsense from me for now. You want to hear some of the proper speakers now, don't you? Okay. I'll give way now then. Put your hands together please and give a big Merthyr Tydfil croeso to Patrick Jones.
I mostly read poems to 10 people, so please be a bit gentle to me tonight. Today. Stephen Kinnock, nepotistic junior lord in waiting. I don't think he's here. He told us we didn't want independence last week. He obviously hasn't been to Merthyr recently. Yeah. That's not a poem, but it could well be. Yes. A couple of months ago, I stood with about 50 fellow Yes Cymru members as we protested against Farage and his Brexit party over in Trago Mills, a couple of miles from here. Yes, some of you were here. And I felt really saddened as hundreds of his supporters poured into the home of the Merthyrizing and Dick Penderyn. And I went home feeling quite desperate and lonely as friends started to tell me how they felt frightened and scared and judged in our country, and I wasn't having that. So I think today is as much as a moral as a political decision to stand together today. And I would just like I'd like to share a poem that is about welcoming everyone to Wales if they want to be here and live in Wales. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's called Soul Transplant. May the Syrian soil beneath your fingers fuse with this Welsh earth to meld into a new garden. May you take refuge in Tryfon's crags and wander wild at Penafan. May you bring sunshine to our vineyards, and may the Teifi, Elan and Taff bring you home when you are lost. Let the slate mountain of Blaena Festiniog build a roof, thank you, to protect you from the nightmares of your past. Let the tongues of Bevan, Cadwaladr and Glyndŵr be your advocate against their hateful throats. Let Cymraeg chime with Arabic to forge a new dialect. May your children grow like the rings of the land. Gen you sutured and secured to this land. And may you spice our larder with falafel and fattoush. And let us share food at Arthur's table and seek shelter in Carrig Cennin's secret tunnel and awake as poets from the slow slumbers of Cader Idris's dawn-drenched slopes. Let the salted arc of Cardigan Bay soothe your scars of yesterday. May you stand upon the aching arches of Penlynnon to view this tiny, massive land from where the Severn, Rheidol and Wye birthday a journey, and you too shall flow. May the cradling arms of the Cambrians strengthen you, Snowdon's mist shawl you, and the valleys cut you. As Nathelion Besyniol oiving glad, nor silence the harp of my country, because it now has a new string, from an end to a new beginning. For we are all transplanted from somewhere, brought in by the breeze from sea to shore, settled on fallow ground, grateful for the sunlight, waiting for the rain. And if they try to bury us, we shall dig deep, cling to our past, but sprout roots, and from this lived present invent our future, yours and mine. Come, let us cultivate oak and olive trees, side by side by side. Diolch yn fawr. Thank you.
Okay, diolch yn fawr iawn I Patrick Jones for those rousing words. If I could just make this announcement, if I may. Could the blue Nissan Micra, no, this is serious, blue Nissan Micra registration CAIRNS please move. Please move, because you're blocking the progress of an entire nation. Okay, I'd like to hand over to another red poet now. Croeso mawr I Mike Jenkins.
Okay, diolch Phil. Okay, rydyn ni gyda gilydd yn dilyn ysbryd y bobl Merthyr yn y gwrthryfel. We're walking today in the same spirit as the people of Merthyr in 1831, and like them, we share a vision. This is a poem I wrote especially for this occasion. Cymru, this house. It's there below a tired plien. Ich dyn, I serve. Too long gweision, down in basements and cellars. Scullery maids and butlers, deferential and bowing. Let's make this house our own, not some castle or mansion, but a modest dwelling with grassy roof and panels, more energy than we need. Let's open it up to visitors who wish to stay or reside. Share the food from a sufficient small holding. Share good company of an evening. Let's build a bridge with languages across that stream. The surge of water or dry beds teach us. Invite the lonely wanderers in. Let's call this house Cymru. As we gaily joining hands at the housewarming, no more rent or dues. We'll look to garden oaks durable in the years ringing. Diolch yn fawr. Ffygod ni eto. Cymru fi. Cymru go. Cymru fi. Diolch yn fawr.
Diolch yn fawr iawn, Mike Jenkins. Welcoming to the stage next now, please, if you will, rhowch croeso mawr to our local regional AM, Delyth Jewell.
Helo, Merthyr! Mae'n anhygoel i weld gymaint ohonoch chi heddi. I can't tell you how exciting it is to see so many people marching in Merthyr for independence. I grew up in these valleys, and ever since I was a teenager, I knew that one day Wales would be an independent nation. But the events of recent years, months, even weeks have led to this growing rumbling, this crescendo of realization that that time has to be now. So it's exciting, it's important that we're meeting at this time, but it's also significant that we are meeting in this place, because Merthyr is the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution. It is the town where the workers' red flag was first flown. Now, a fact that passes many people by is that Merthyr, the word, it means martyr, Merthyr. It's fitting when we think about how much the town and its people has had to sacrifice over the years, sacrificing our health, our livelihoods, even at times our lives, to satisfy another's greed. Not far from here, in Vaynod Churchyard, is the grave of the ironmaster Richard Crawshay, a man whose wealth was built on the suffering of others. Now, aside from his name and dates, the only words on his gravestone are, "God forgive me." He knew when he went to meet his maker how he would be judged. Now, Crawshay was one of a long line of people who have misruled and destroyed the economy of these valleys. It was true then, and it's true now, because today, an absent ruling class has overseen the destruction of our workforce, long lines at job centres, and longer still at food banks. We stand in Penderyn Square, named after Dick Penderyn, who was hanged for his part in using. He maintained that he was wrongly accused of stabbing a soldier, and his last words before he was hanged, "O arglwydd, dyma ganwedd, O Lord, this is injustice." Now, what would Dick Penderyn say if he were alive in Merthyr today, if he could see the desolation on our streets, the hundreds homeless, the countless struggling to earn a living, universal credit, sanctions for missing appointments, not enough jobs to go around, factories closing, no investment to take their place, shops closed, shutters down, no money left to keep the lights on? When we look back over these dark periods of our history, we see that all was not lost in the soot and the rubble. After all, diamonds are formed in the bowels of the earth under extreme pressure and heat. They thought they could define Merthyr in the muck of the mines, but they didn't realise how diamonds are made. Now, Harry Webb, a poet well acquainted with Merthyr Bardd yr Oen, whose birthday it would have been today, he called Merthyr the jewel of the valleys. Well, diamonds, they are the hardest matter known to man. They are often exploited, but they are valuable and they shine in the darkest corners. It's true of Merthyr, and it's true of towns across Wales who are realising that this is an idea whose time has come. Friends, we do not want independence because the word sounds nice. We do not want independence because the principle is important. No, we want independence so that we can start our own journey and make decisions which will help the people of these valleys, not hinder them. I see Two futures stretching ahead of us. One, beleaguered by inward looking, wearing an imperial shame and searching all the while for a soul that was never ours. The other, sunlit, with our sights towards the sky, ready to take our place among the free nations of the earth. Stop the world. Wales wants to get on. Friends, I am glad we are meeting in Merthyr today, because Merthyr is no longer synonymous with sacrifice. This is one of the towns where our future will be forged, because we in Merthyr have been tested in the furnace. We've been moulded in grit and fortified in iron. And out of the dust of our history, Merthyr is rising again. Raise our voices. Let's raise our dreams, because this is what the new Wales looks like, outward looking, proud, and with a song from the valleys of Merthyr and Trymni, of Aman and Gwendraeth and Usk, of Ogwen, of Idwell and Festiniog. Let our voices rise to a thunder that echoes in Crawshay's grave. Cymru rydd! Cymru fydd! Who's with me?
Ok, diolch yn fawr iawn, Delydd Southall, geiriau o'r galon, diolch yn fawr iawn. Ok, folks, mae'r gwestai nesaf wedi bod yn gweud pethau gefnogol iawn dros Annibyniaeth. This next speaker has been saying some very, very supportive things on social media. You'll know him as soon as you see him. You'll take him to your heart if he's not already there. Rhowch croeso mawr I Big Nev, Neville Southall!
Thank you, but it all goes downhill from here. I think one of the problems we've got is a place like this, because Rees-Mogg thinks everybody lives in a place like this. So we don't get any funding. This is the greatest country in the world. Right? But it's no good having a dragon if the dragon can't roar. And at the moment, we don't roar because we don't get any money. We don't get any money because we've been led by the hand by a complete homophobic, racist, sexist idiot in Westminster. We need to build a country that looks after the lowest of the low. We need to take everybody and treat them equally. There should be no class system in Wales. Everybody should be the same. We need to change the way we do things. Education. We must put the kid before results. We must. Every school should be of a high standard, but that looks after the child first. Because you can't fix the child while getting the results. It's got to be the child-centred education. We've got to fix the police, because they need the power to get the rubbish off the streets. We need to be a safe environment for everybody. There's people fought in wars and they can't walk down the street at night after 10 o'clock. That's a disgrace. We need to take the streets back off them. Hospitals. We need every hospital, not to be a super hospital, to be a hospital that you can be proud of, that you can go there, where you don't have to travel 20 miles in an ambulance before you get treatment. We need the hospitals back under our care, proper care. We've got the best people in the world. But you can't only do half a job if you don't get the funding. This is the greatest country I've ever seen. Right? But when do we ever tell anybody about it? We never shout when we've got the world's best players, and hopefully we'll win the World Cup and we'll have the best rugby team. But we won't shout about it because we're little old Wales. Well, it's time for little old Wales to get off its bum, stand up and roar again. And no matter who comes up here and talks to you, they can't do it alone. It's going to be down to you, every single one of you, to get behind this and get our country back and make sure that the dragon roars. Because without the dragon roaring, we're going to be another 20 years doing nothing. Wales needs to stand on its own 2 feet, and we can do that. We can do that, but we need your help. We need to make sure you get out and tell everybody. We need to have a look at the people that we've got in this country and celebrate them, not look down on them. We need to put the industries back into the valleys. We need to give people dreams, and at the moment we're not giving any of our kids a dream. We should be proud of what we can achieve, and we make sure that the kids have got a dream, and that's not to get a council flat and stay in the dome for the rest of their life. It's to work and contribute to the best country in the world, which is Wales. But it's going to be down to you, not me, because look, I'm not really used to this bigger crowd. But we need your help. We need to go out there and we need to spread the word. When we first started this, I think there was about 6 or 7 people in the room. It's growing. And it's growing because the world's changing, and the world's changing to a smaller place and a more insular place, and Wales needs to stand there and be counted, because we get lumped with England. Whenever I go abroad, people say, oh, where are you from? Wales. That's in England. Right, that's what they say. So we need to make sure that whenever we go abroad, we say, we're from Wales. They go, wow, what a fantastic place. And I'm sure most of the speakers will put it better than me. But we're not far from the Brecon Beacons, and you can't get a more beautiful place than that. We're close to where the NHS started. Another beautiful thing. We're in the valleys where the industry was ripped out of it. We need to put the heart back in Wales and the roar back in the dragon. Thanks very much. Thank you.
OK, diolch yn fawr iawn I Neville Southall. I never thought I'd be saying those words. You know, there you go. Strange things. We're in strange times. Now then, y person nesaf I siarad oedd e gyda ni neithiwr ar yr Orymdaith yng Nghaerdydd o ganol y ddinas lawr I stadiwm I gwylio'r pêl-droed fel rhan o gefnogwyr pêl-droed Annibyniaeth Cymru. He's come all the way from Edinburgh to support Yes Cymru and all under one banner Wales. Give a big Merthyr welcome, os gwelwch yn dda, for Ian Black.
Thank you for that welcome. I have to say my life is now complete. I can say that Big Nev was my warm-up act. So my name's Ian Black. I'm here as Vice Convener of the Scottish Independence Convention. We're an umbrella organisation that has the SNP, the Green Party, Women for Independence, Pensioners for Independence, and we campaign for Scottish independence. I'm here to bring you wishes of solidarity and thanks from the Scottish Independence Convention. Thanks because your campaign makes our campaign stronger. And we hope that our campaign makes yours stronger too. So I was just wondering if anyone was here to rouse a wee bit of rebellion? Anyone here because Wales is big enough, smart enough and rich enough? Is anyone here because they know the children of Wales, your brothers, your sisters, your mothers, your fathers, are all capable of running Wales like the children of Norway and Finland are capable of running their countries? So is there anyone here who has the confidence that Wales can be standing on the world stage with the confidence it stands on the rugby pitch? So as a day job, I'm an academic, so I get to look into things and try to understand how things work. And that word confidence is at the heart of your campaign, as it is the heart of our campaign. So, as part of our campaign of moving, when we had only 29% support and we needed to move to 51% support, we had to do research into what those people looked like who we needed to move. And it wasn't that they weren't as bright as us, and it wasn't they weren't as beautiful as us, and it wasn't that they were older or younger or rich or poorer. There were three things which come down to confidence. So we did a little bit of research and we measured three things. We measured risk aversion. And the difference between people who have supported Scottish independence and who didn't is that they were more risk averse. They were so risk averse, they were scared of their own shadow. And we know if you're not prepared to take a risk, there is no reward. We also did a little in that research, looked into people's perceived collective efficacy, which is one of those great things that academics get to see. But basically that means, how good do we think we are at solving problems? And yet again we found those people who believed in Scottish independence thought that Scotland was more capable of sorting out the problems that would come from independence, and those people who support the Union, well, they thought we weren't good enough. And the final thing that we asked them was about their own effectiveness, how good they were at sorting out problems. And yet again we found that those who would vote against Scottish independence one of the reasons was because they didn't think they were good enough. That's quite a stark picture of a lack of confidence in your own people and yourself. So when it comes to campaigning, and I'm here with three other guys from Yes Edinburgh, North and Leith. You can see the flag over here. And during our campaign in 2014, we had 10 proud folk from Llanelli come to help us. Are they in the audience? And what our grassroots campaign was all about, it was leaflets are just one thing, social media is another, but it was conversations to build confidence. It was speaking to those people that were thinking about it, who needed an arm put round them, and to say, yes, we can. So when it comes to setting up, and if you don't mind me giving you a wee bit of advice from Scotland, this is a grassroots campaign that comes to every street of this fantastic town and every valley and every street in this country, where it's the grassroots activity of you speaking to people and building their confidence. Now, if you don't mind, I've given you a little bit of advice and I hope you feel you can take that on board, but I think I'd also like to take something from Obama's campaign, when his slogan to build confidence and build unity was, yes, we can. Now, I was at the thank God I wasn't at the Scotland game last night. I was at the Wales-Azerbaijan game last night. And the young team who led us off in a march where they were fairly good at getting a chant going, and it was wonderful and it brought us together. Is anyone here who got us that march yesterday? Anyone? So I would like to maybe suggest that instead of yes, we can, the chant is yes, Wales can. 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 Now, can I just ask you, I think that was loud enough for Merthyr, but I'm not sure they heard it in Westminster. So let's raise our voices, let's hear some of those marvellous Welsh baritones and basses, and let's tell Boris Johnson, yes, Wales can! Yes, Wales can! Yes, Wales can! Yes, Wales can! Thank you.
Diolch yn fawr iawn i Ian Black.
Okay, a quick correction now to my earlier announcement. The blue Nissan Micra, registration CAIRNS. Stay right where you are. You're a marvellous recruitment officer for the independence movement. Okay, croeso nawr i'r llwyfan, please, if you could put your hands together. Big welcome for Catrin Dafydd.
Wow! Chi mor hardd! Oes bach, chi mor hardd. You're so beautiful. Even you, perhaps if you're a bit hungover after the football, you're still beautiful. Mae e mor anhygoel i weld gymaint o bobl yn dod at ei gilydd heddiw yn enw un peth sy'n ein glymu ni yn hyd dros Gymru ben Balladyr. A hynny yw ein bod ni'n gwybod ein bod ni a gathu fel cenedl i fod yn genedl rhydd hyderus sy'n edrych allan i'r byd. It is also so significant that we are in Merthyr. 1831 we've heard, of course. So many ordinary people like you and I, they changed things and tried so hard under such difficult circumstances. We also are the people, every single one of us, who will change Wales. Now, someone very close to me recently asked me, why are you, and they've said that I'm allowed to say this, because I felt a bit funny if she'd see it on Facebook. Why are you so obsessed with Wales becoming independent? And I said, quite unequivocally, actually, I'm not obsessed with Wales becoming independent. I'm obsessed with what Wales becoming independent will mean for the people of Wales. Now, we've already heard today that sense of urgency because Westminster, Whitehall, it's all broken. Britain is broken in this way at the moment, it is. But also, there's another sense of urgency that we should really remember. Of course, it ties in with what I've just said. There are people from Pwllheli to Pontypridd today. They are being failed dramatically. Can you imagine how we could change the way things are? That people would be able to look in their communities at ways they could transform young people's lives so that they would have the levers in order to have work, in order to learn about their own history. We don't even learn about our own history. And I'm afraid that people say often, oh yes, no, we're doing that in the Assembly. I'm afraid it's not enough. And also, of course, I'm really, really happy when politicians support our cause. Politicians won't change Wales. People will change Wales. And if we say it loud enough, they will follow. A mae rhaid i chi gofio na. Nawr efalle bod chi fel fi ar ôl rallies ffantastig fel hyn yn itcho, ddim yn gwybod beth I wneud nesa. Perhaps some of you are like me after rallies like this. You're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do now? I really want to do something, carry on with this. And I think it's a really important question to ask. What can we do? Well, I've got two suggestions today. Yr un cyntaf yw, boes mae angen I ni gael sgyrsiau. Nid gyda'n gilydd, bod hynny'n bwysig i ddatblygu ein breuddwyd a'n stori ni, ond gyda'n cyd Gymru ni, gyda'n cyd dinasyddion ni, sgyrsiau allweddol, falle gyda pobl, chi beth ti siarad am wleidyddiaeth gyda nhw o'r blaen, neu ddim am pwnc annibyniaeth. Peidiwch â disgwyl pawb i gytuno gyda chi, sim ots, nag oes, ond mae rhaid i ni agor y sgwrs. So today, I dare you all, this is a nice day, I think, actually, with so many of us here. I don't know how many of you are, but I dare you all to have conversations across Wales when you head back on the train, if you can get one, or wherever you are in the pubs of Merthyr tonight. Strike up conversations, talk about what you believe, of the confidence that we should have in our nation, of the things that we're able to do for ourselves. And finally, y peth arall fi'n credu sy'n holl bwysig yw ein bod ni fel pobl yn dechrau meddwl beth ddyle fod yn gynwysiedig yng nghyfansoddiad y bobl pan ddaw annibyniaeth. We need to start thinking about the content of a constitution, the people's constitution. And we are the people who can start that conversation. We've got excellent groups, Yes Cymru, Undod, AUOBCymru, Yes is more, you could go on and on, the football crew, I can see some of you there. It's such important work, and we could start that conversation to ask, what is the reason for independence? Why do we want it? Mae'n rhaid cael reswm dros y ryddid wrth reswm. Nawr dyma rai syniadau sydyn I chi cyn I fi adael y llwyfan. You could possibly put in a constitution that every community should be in a position where they can offer a home for every citizen who lives in that community. And one of a high standard at that. That everyone in a place like Merthyr, a melting pot of all cultures that have created Merthyr, and the same for Wales, that everyone should have the right, if they choose Wales as their home, that it is their home. We could have a carbon neutral Wales, a green Wales that respects Wales and its people. And we could have a constitution where the Welsh language is given a central place and a promise that Cymraeg be a part of our common inheritance, whether you are born in Wales or have moved here. That the Welsh language is ours, whether we speak the language or not, and that everyone be given access to it and our history. And I think actually that I'll finish on this note, because I'm being told to rush up because there's so much to say. But I do think that it's worth us thinking as well, rather than as individuals, as communities, that we would also be able to have a different democracy to the way that we see things at the moment. Communities all over the world are showing us how we can perhaps have referenda in communities and different things. There are so many models so that we can empower our people, not for politicians to make decisions for us, but for us I wneud penderfyniadau dros ni ein hunain. Cymru rydd. Diolch I chi gyd.
OK, diolch yn fawr iawn o Merthyr fyna I Catrin Dafydd. Nawr, mae'r person nesaf sydd yn dod I siarad i'ch hanner chi gyd, ein ni'n hynod ddiolchgar, ac wedi syfrdani'n llwyr pan glywon ni bod e'n mynd I ddod ato ni. Our next special guest speaker, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together please, a big Merthyr welcome to the one and only Eddie Butler!
In the air. Yes, this very special place. Oh, to be in Merthyr, with independence in the air. This special place, this crucible of protest. I come from half an hour away off the mountain, from Monmouthshire, not a centre of revolution. Not really Welsh at all. So it is said, how easily we, even we, find the things that keep us apart. Well, I have been lucky in my life to have been to just about every corner of this land of ours, and it is my simple conclusion that there is far more that binds us together than keeps us apart. And what is it that we are bound into? We are bound into a distinct people, distinct of sound. The Welsh language, which is not only a language in its own right, but which influences the English that so many of us speak, to the extent that we are recognisable wherever we go as being from Wales, even me. Is it enough to be distinct? There are plenty of places where English is spoken with an accent. There are plenty of places that do scenery like ours. Is it enough to be distinct? It is more than enough. It is the very essence of what makes people want to strive to control their own lives. Do we have it here? I have sat in rugby changing rooms about to go out and play England, and we raise a spirit of defiance for this one game above all, to beat England, for taking without giving back, for there not being one trace of Wales, not the tip of a dragon on the flag of their union. Oh, to beat England. And I have been amazed that this spirit of defiance has been confined to the sports field. Amazed and dismayed. We could barely bring ourselves. We could barely bring ourselves to vote in favour of assuming authority for certain aspects of our lives. Devolution is no revolution. We are distinct, but we have not been very defiant. My parents came to Wales after the Second World War from England. Their notion of being British was defined by the war. My father came to work in a brand new factory in Pontypool, simply called the Nylon, BNS, British Nylon Spinners. But it was the war that made them identify themselves. At its outset, they were teenagers. By its end, they were part of the war effort. My mother served in the Women's Auxiliary Air Force. She was on duty on the night of the Nuremberg raid, the worst night in the RAF's history. More aircrew were killed in one night than in the entire Battle of Britain. And it was the night that her twin brother was killed. There was a toll, there was a price to pay, but there was a spirit of defiance, and my parents felt that being British was to be part of one united Britain that stood against a terrifying ideology. Well, the United Kingdom that made my parents proud to call themselves British no longer exists. The Nylon in Pontypool lies empty, abandoned, as derelict as Elm House, the old clubhouse of my beloved Pontypool Rugby Club. And for extreme ideologies, look no further than Westminster. this today is not entirely political, not yet. We are here together simply to be together on the road which may be long. But there is a political question to ask. Out of Westminster as it is, out of Westminster as it will be after all the convulsions and contortions, what good will be coming the way of Wales? No good. Out of Westminster, nothing good will come from Wales. Oh, there may be some crumbs to take the edge off our defiance. But what real good? No good. Nothing. But nothing is good. Nothing is a blank canvas. Every small nation that has cast itself free of a neighbour, however mighty, has begun with a blank canvas. Holland, from the Empire of Spain at its grandest, Finland from the empires of Sweden and Russia, Estonia, Lithuania, Latvia, Belgium, Denmark, and above all, the free Irish state, they all began with a blank canvas. The will to be free. Oh, Edmund, it can't be done. Well, here we are, in Merthyr, birthplace of an uprising. And here's somebody from half an hour away from a place that's not really very Welsh, who joins you to say, yes, it can. Thank you.
Diolch yn fawr iawn, Annibyniaeth! Okay, bach o ganu I chi nawr. Two sisters who are amazingly talented. Rhowch croeso mawr I Cizzy ac Edith Crawford.
Thank you. Music is what unites us in Wales.
Mae cerddoriaeth yn un o ni.
And we are so proud to be here today.
Rydych ni mor falch I fod yma heddi.
And to sing for you all.
I ganu chi gyd. A please ymunwch mewn.
Please join in with us and sing Galon. Diolch.
Nid yw'n gofyn bywyd moethus A'r y byd o'r belau man Gofyn oedd am galon nobus Galon nobus, galon lan Galon lan, llawt o ioni Teg o chiewn o'r lili dlos Dim ond galon lan a'ch ganu Canu'r dydd a chanu'r nos Calon lan yn llawn daioni Teg a chiewn o'r lili dlos Dim ond calon lan a'ch ganu Canu'r dydd a chanu'r nos
Okay, diolch yn fawr iawn I Cizzy ac Edith Crawford. Dwi jyst moyn neud diolchiadau I ni di gorredig rhyw ychydig, ond mae rhaid I fi diolch yn fawr iawn i'r gangen leol, Yes Merthyr Tydfil, our local branch of Yes Cymru, Yes Merthyr Tydfil, who have been absolutely immense to the last man, woman, child and dog. And on that topic, we've had the official figures in for today's attendance. Would you like to know? Okay, people, 5,200. Humans. Dogs for Indy, 53. This has been brought to you courtesy of All Under One Banner Cymru, because we are non-partisan, we are of all parties and of no parties at all together under one banner. Diolch yn fawr iawn. Thank you also to Merthyr Council, who have been absolutely amazing in helping us put this on today. So diolch yn fawr iawn. As I said, this isn't the end. After the rugby now, there's a free event up in Zoa, which is a talk on economics with Dr. John Ball and Ian Black, who you've already seen on the balcony. Then we've got stand-up for Wales comedians, and then we've got the Yes Is More gig itself in Theatre Zoa this evening. So you've heard them once, they're going to lead us now in My Hen Lad Fan Hadair. Croeso nôl, a lleisiau y barod os gwelwch yn dda I ymuno yn ein anthem genedlaethol. Diolch yn fawr iawn I chi gyd!
My